Hello, this is Paul from RankWyz Sideways, and today's Sideways Daily is about building authority centers for your network, in your network. Primarily PBN, private block network, but it applies exactly the same way to other type of SEO properties. Web 2 networks, ACO profiles, the social profiles, citations, and even directly on the money sites or client sites. Whatever properties you build, the end results of your effort and time you spend and money you spend on during the building the network is end results is authority. The higher authority of your ACO properties, the bigger the impact you can make with the network, the higher results you can achieve with your SEO. And of course, the better you can justify the overall creation, the time and the effort you put in creation of your network. Unfortunately, the opposite is also true. If you follow some outdated procedures of building a network and left it there, like after creating, like registering domain and putting the 3 articles or the kind of making theme site, you might not see any results. And why you don't see the results? Why some people online split into the ones who says that PBN doesn't work, and those who say that it's great work and continues making great difference in the SEO practice, is because it's not about setting up those sites, it's about building authority. If you, let's say, building PBN and you find good domains, you acquire a domain with a pre-existing authority. And of course, the authority is not, there's no such number. It's hypothetical, numeric kind of measurement of the value of the property. I'm pretty sure Google used some numbers internally, but they don't expose this number to us. And when we talk about authority, we don't really actually mean the third-party authority metrics like Majestics or Hrefs, although they do pretty good job of trying to find correlation between the metrics and the actual Google authority. Google authority is relative to the niche. So one side that could be end result. So it might be that there is its aggregation of different factors. It might be the absolute number on the domain, but I'm more and more convinced that it's relative to the niche. When one side is ranking for hundreds and hundreds keywords in one niche and doesn't rank for any keyword in different niche, you can take the page on the niche where it's already have an authority, put it up and create an internal structure and rank this page with even no backlinks. And no matter how strong your backlinks, you probably will have hard time ranking the page if domain is not known the authority for the specific niche. You often can hear discussions of how to effectively use PBN or any other properties for links. And it's all coming from the assumption that you put your link on the home page. Why you put your link on the home page? Because, as I said, originally after Google updates, the Panda Penguin updates, where they shift radically toward the overall domain authority, the value of domain. So the domain itself become the main contributor factor for the ranking. So if you was able to find several domains with the pre-existing metrics, you probably will do good with anything else. Pretty mediocre. Let's say one homepage, a few articles with the one homepage article with the links pointing to the site directly. This is approach that work less and less effective. Why? Because Google treats you should consider that Google doesn't see the difference from your money site or your PBN blog. So there are two sites, and which one to rank, or i.e. which one is considered more authoritative. So the site that is frequently updated, that posts a fresh relevant content, that refers to the other authority sites, that has traffic, or the plain site that has one article and no visitors and no fresh content. If Google doesn't consider this as a building authority network, it will disregard it. and this is what they said with the Penguin 4, we will more and more disregard links. So we don't need to penalize sites. You might have a network and they all be indexed, and you don't even know why there's PBN doesn't make any difference. It's because there's no authority within the PBN. So if you post more content though, so there's a different problem. So like, would you put a continuous effort of posting more content, building backlinks, and still utilize the homepage only? So of course, there is a logical solution to this. So we can create multiple authority centers or authority pages within the PBN. I covered this in the video about geo-targeting PBN. Briefly, it is, instead of building PBN for a dentist and another PBN for let's say roofers or construction, so you can create geo-targeted PBN. If let's say you target New York or Toronto, you can create PBN all about Toronto and have authority centers in there, one for dentist, one for construction, so that you can utilize the same PBN over and over again once you have a new type of user. Let's say you have dentists, so now you can build the authority center for dentists in your network. You don't need to change homepage, so you can add more and more content. But of course, the inherited starting point of the page you create within the blog is different from the homepage. The homepage is the strongest by definition, by default, the strongest pages of domain that it closest to the domain the domain authority. So if you create a new page, you need to spend time to build authority of this page. How you build authority of the page? So number one is silo. So the silo, when you build a silo, when you sell it, let's say you create, let's say you have a blog for overall Toronto, and you create the authority center for the let's say dentists in Toronto. So you create a page, or sometimes if it's it might be a category page for the this is how the default structure of WordPress works. Every page within the category reference to the upper category. So if you create more and more content under dentists in New York, so you will be automatically create authority pointing to the category page dentist in New York. The only problem is that default category page in WordPress is another snippets of rolling blogs. It's more of the duplicate content rather than something else. So you need to customize custom page. You can create a post or page for dentists in Toronto, but you need to restructure your you need to restructure your silo to have more of the relevant doctor-related, dentist-related pages pointing up to the page you want to inherit all authority of the underlining pages in the structure. So you need to build backlinks. So it's nice when you target authority flow with the architecture of the site. Let's say you create some long tail post that is about I don't know, the variation of the long tail variation of the dentist in New York, but you created a nice post and you included a link pointing up to the authority center about dentists in New York, but you can redirect the flow, but you need to inflow. So you need backlinks. You need good quality backlinks. So what works as a backlink? Social profiles, Web2s, now another PBN posts. I have another video about interlinking your network. It's controversial. Many kind of really think that this is not a good idea, but this is how you structure, this is how you interconnect the authority within your network. The bigger network, the less and less probability that it will be discovered. So again, so you build the proper silo to have the authority pages, the authority centers on the top of the silo, so that in inner linking is pointing, building, redirecting authority to this to the center. Next, you post more content in this category so that you create more of the internal linking. The next, you build backlinks, like relevant backlinks. So the irrelevant backlinks, it's, I don't think even worth mentioning nowadays. Irrelevant backlinks, ignore it. So you need the proper context, the closer context of the where the link is placed, the higher the results. Of course, there are other factors like authority of the domain, where the link is coming from. So if you build backlinks from authority from the dental content, and especially dental in New York content, pointing to this category, all the inner pages, so you'll have inflow authority that will be redirected later on using the silo structure to the authority center in your blog or your network. And the last one is fresh content. Fresh content, so you need to update those pages more often. So they don't need to be neglected. So you might put more underlining pages, you might delete more of those pages, you can redirect them up to the authority center, but you need to take care about your authority centers. Think about the kind of several dimensions on your PBN. Before you had one blog and you're thinking, okay, I want to build an authority for this domain as a dental site in New York. So you post the content. So now you want to utilize this domain or blog for multiple niches. So you create the main dimension that will be top, the header, the home page that will be, let's say, traveling in Toronto or traveling in New York, something very generic. But then there will be category for dental in New York, the roofers and other trades. So now we have multiple, I don't know, we don't call it multiple PBNs, but multiple authority centers within the same blog. So it's probably multiple backlinking campaign. It's probably different or similar, but still the own silo structure that point in the link up, and fresh content you update on those authority centers. So you want it continue grow. How do you know if you do everything right? So if you measure ranking for lots of keywords in the New York dental or variation, long tail variation, you want to see this authority center, would it be category page or any other pages, rank high. So if you see some inner pages, like lower pages in their your structure in your silo ranking higher, so you do something wrong. You need more content on the center page. You need to might be redirect the page that is ranking higher, but you need to redirect the flow, authority flow. So to quick example how we implemented in RankWyz the building authority centers. I'll go to the yoga network, and I have a site I always use for demonstration, yoga phone, and this is the site. I already have it open, blog. So whatever you say, that this is a typical PBN blog, right? So look, consider this a top level generic site that it's all about yoga, and you can see the categories are on the very specific type of yoga. So this is example. Let's say I want to build generic site on yoga, and I want to build the authority centers dedicated for different type of yoga. So I'll get to yin yoga, let's say, and you'll see that although it is a natural center, like that is a silo built, the natural silo, top silo, because all inner pages are pointed to the category, it is typical blog role. So there's no, it's not anyhow special. In RankWyz, we have an option to customize category. So if you go to, let's say, meditation page, you will see that you can customize it. You can put the SEO title, the description, and the customized content on this. Let's say this meditation. So when I go to category page on meditation, that looks more of the customized. Again, I can consider this page now as an authority page. Of course, it's not enough content, but I can put more content. If I'll go, let's say, to Ashtanga yoga, you will see that it's more of dedicated to Ashtanga and it has more content. So now we have, and using category, if you customize category, it's a great way to build authority center for the WordPress or sideways blogs, because the more your content post under category, the more you redirect the flow to the category page itself. So, and to the last, how you can customize the content, how you put more of the custom content to the category. So we have an option, we have a functionality of dynamic tags, where you can place a tag on the post, and we have a video on this, how to do this. You put a tag on the post that will automatically refresh content using content from RankWyz content mill every 7 days. So you can, instead of fixed content, you can place the content on the image, text, or video or news. Let's say if I'll put the shortcode for the text, you'll see that text keyword meditation word count 500, and I'll update it and refresh this site. You can see that it has now 500 words of the content on the topic of meditation. Not only it's relevant, but it also will be updated every 7 days. You don't need to come to the page and update it all the time. It will update the content. It will update the post or category with RSS feed. The Google bots will see that it was updated. So in the same way, you can use other tags. If I'll go to the and you can see that I can use shortcode for video keyword meditation. There was no word count. So refreshing, and you can see that content is way different from when we started. So it is rich content on the subject, in this case on meditation. Of course, when you build niche authority, you probably will have to go lower in the scale, on the scope. So it's not just meditation, it's too broad, too generic. But meditation, kids meditation in Toronto, it's very narrow, so you can focus and you can rank it extremely fast, and more it is dynamic, so you can find the codes. I will include the codes in the post, and with the sideways you can customize your, this is the whole process. You customize your categories with the static text, with the dynamic text, with the dynamic videos. You create a bigger content, and then you can build these category pages as a natural authority centers for your PBN. You have more categories, you have more authority centers. So you have inner page sculpting for redirecting the authority flow to the category page. You build backlinks pointing to the whole category, all sets. You can set up with RankWyz, and you will have those pages updated regularly, because we use these short codes for the dynamic type of code, and that will be considered quickly. You will see immediately the difference. If you're tracking keywords, let's say different meditation keywords, you will see that with this approach, your category pages will be ranking high. And if with the normal, let's quote generic WordPress setup, the category page is pretty useless, because it's, as I said, it's blog roll. With this approach, you will have the point where you can build links, when you can place eventually a link for your in this case yoga client. That's all. That's a little bit longer than I thought. Thank you for watching. Thank you for using RankWyz sideways. So always you can email me, Pavel at RankWyz.com, or post on our Facebook group. Thank you for watching, and have a great